we're going to demonstrate to you how to use a three-phase power meter, also known as the Fluke 434 Series 2 Energy Analyzer. What we have here is the actual Fluke 434. These are our amp flex leads, and Mary has our voltage clamp test leads. 5 voltage clamps here. What we're going to do is across the top of your energy analyzer you have a spot for phase A, phase B, phase C, your neutral, and your ground. And so I'm going to plug these in here, and Mary is going to connect them across the top of our, there you go, beautiful view. Mary's going to take each clamp here and she's going to go in and she's going to connect them to our phases.
Just make sure they're on there good. The phases are neutral and our ground.
Next we have our 4 amperage flexies. They kind of work like an amp meter, except they're smaller and flexible, so they're able to fit in tight spaces or around large conductors. No, it doesn't matter. We're going to neutral and face to face. As Mary connects those, here at the meter, we've got a spot for each of our phases to check our amperage. We've got a phase A, B, C, and then a spot for a neutral as well. So this is our electrical power distribution. What we have right here is 3-phase power coming in, where Mary hooked up our voltage clamps and our amp current readers. If you come around the side here, you've got a 3-phase power breaker right here, or breaker panel right here, that feeds this fan here, this VFD and the fan down here, and then we also have another breaker box right here that's going to feed these outlets down here, and our PVC pipe melting thing. So we're gonna plug this in right here to everybody's power.
Okay, now we'll be turning on the main service disconnect. We'll come and turn this one on, and this one for our VFD. And we'll start our fan down here. That is for ran by VFD. And
okay, now so that we've got everything powered up over here, we're going to come over here to our meter itself. This right here is the charging cord for it, which we don't need at the moment. And this is our main menu screen. And as you can see, there's different settings that you can select and different tests that you can apply with this meter. So the first one we're going to do is our volts, amps, hertz test. So let me hit OK. Okay, so now that we have our test going, right now we have all these already going, and these are our phases 1, 2, and 3, and neutral. So when we scroll down, it'll give us more specs on this test. And also what we can do on this particular setting is we can view a line graph chart. As the time progresses, the chart will
get longer and you can see more data at once. So we can stop this test, and you can either save it or discard it. Next, we'll go into our dips and swells test. This is pretty much just a bunch of line graphs that will show you the different phases and what they're doing. So if we turn on our VFD, which is our three-phase load, we will begin to see a different change in our little graph here. So go ahead and turn the VFD on. Okay, and so what we're seeing right now is our 208 and our 120. And since there's really not much of a load with just the VFD on, it's not going to vary much with this test. Now we'll go back to our main menu and we'll show our energy loss calculator. This particular setting will allow you to see the energy you are currently using, how much it costs per year, and how much you are losing. Then we can go back to our main menu, and if we hit this scope button here, it'll show us the sine waves of our voltage right now. And if we go to our amperage sine waves, this is what they're currently doing with just the one load of the VFD and not all the way cranked up. So to crank it up a little bit more. So as more of a load is put on it, then our amps start to do a little bit more jumping. Okay, next we're going to turn on our pipe heater. And since that is a single phase load, it's going to only spike the amps on the one phase that it's connected to. Also, if we're in this mode, we can click this here and we can see the vectors of what's going on. And we can also return back to our line graph. And then as well, we can also view our harmonics because we don't want any harmonics on our lines. So this is a good test to view how much harmonics you have. The less you have, the better you will have, because you will have less noise, electrical interference on your lines.
The more noise you have, the more distortion there is and the more loss of power.
Alright, and you go down to your power and energy. This shows how many kilowatts, kilovolts, power factor, all that of each phase on your screen. And again, you can also hit this button and it will give you a line graph as time progresses, but it takes more time to see that. And you can also find kilowatt hours, kilovolt amp hours, and your forward and reverse, which are not being applied here, really. So
to go back to your main menu, you hit, or no, you're at your main menu.
Yeah, you have to stop the test in between each, just so you aren't messing with the meter. Or if you're not in a current test, you can just hit menu to hit back to your main menu.
So how do you view that little chart you had there with those wavy lines?
The sine waves, you simply just hit this scope button right here. And you can view here, it'll indicate what you're on. Right now we're on volts. If you just hit this button again, it'll take you to your amps. This is what your neutral is doing. And this is your line 1, line 2, and line 3.
So is that voltage and amperage both shown on there?
Yeah. This here is your voltage of each, and this is your amperage. And these are the voltage, and those are the amperage all combined.
Nice.